Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we started, or in fact, I just introduced the continent Africa to everyone. But today, we will be actually beginning the chapter, and I hope everyone is ready with their books and a pencil in hand so that we can actually continuously mark what is important and thoroughly go through the chapter. In the introduction class, we learned that Africa is the second largest continent, and the world's largest desert, that is the Sahara Desert, and the longest river, that is the Nile, are found in this continent. Secondly, we learned that the continent of Africa extends almost equally on both sides of the equator. Since it is broad in the north and tapering towards the south, there is more landmass in the northern hemisphere than in the southern hemisphere. Next is the three most important lines of latitude that pass through Africa. Number one, the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. Second is the equator, which seemed to just pass through right through the center of Africa, that is the 0 degree line. And the last most important line is the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degrees south. Tropic of Cancer, Equator, then Tropic of Capricorn. And the most important line of longitude which passes through Africa is the prime meridian, that is the 0 degree line, and it passes through Africa on its western side, and it passes through Accra, the capital of Ghana. Now I would request everyone to open their books to page 111. That is this page. And this is the name of your chapter, Africa Location, Area, Political and Physical Features. Here we'll be marking some very important things. But this entire paragraph I asked you to read last time, this page in fact, I have already explained in the PPT. In the book, it is given in a little complicated manner. So I have just sorted it out for you. That why is it called the dark continent? Because it remained unexplored for a very long time. The second name that we discussed was the hottest continent. Now, why is it the hottest continent? We just revised that the equator passes through the middle, and therefore it gets the maximum heat of the sun, and it lies within the tropics, and therefore that is the hottest continent in the world. And specifically with the three desert, it is heat signifying its heat received from the direct rays of the sun. The third name, that was the plateau continent, it is given because most of Africa consists of plateau region, and we'll be doing a extensive study of the plateaus after we have finished with the introduction. And then you will get to know that why is it called the plateau continent, because it has a lot of plateau region in the northern and the southern portion of Africa, which did not allow the explorers to move into the interiors of Africa. Therefore it was named as the plateau continent also. The next name that was given was the last explored continent, and all of this content is on the first page itself, which has been sorted out into pointers. So you need to learn it from the PPT pointers itself. And we were discussing the last explored continent. It is called so because of the difficulties faced by the people. And a few of the difficulties we've already discussed. That is, number one is your Sahara Desert, which did not allow easy communication, or in fact nobody was able to cross through the Sahara Desert because of the heat and the dry conditions out there. And the second one is the curvy plateaus, which we just discussed. The third one is that the rivers were very wild, and they still have a lot of rapids and waterfalls, so they are not easily navigable. That means they're not easily, and nobody can cross through them easily. And The most dangerous jungles, that is the dense and extensive, that is huge and very thick, equatorial forests are there, which are not at all easy to pass through, and they have a lot of wild animals and poisonous insects and huge snakes, which do not allow any traveler to easily explore the interiors of Africa. Now let us learn about the latitudinal extent and the longitudinal extent of Africa. The latitudinal extent is your 37 degrees north, and the lower end, that is your 35 degrees south. Then we are coming on to our longitudinal extent, that is your 18 degrees west. In some places you will find 17 degrees, 17 and 18 degrees. So the best one to learn is your 18 degrees. And here, the eastern side extent, you have a 51 degrees east longitudinal extent. Now let us mark the important things in our book also, so that we don't forget. Number one is your latitudinal extent. Number two is your longitudinal extent, that is 18 degrees west to 51 degrees east. Just remember, children, north, south, east, west, Africa extends in all four hemispheres. So it's very easy to understand and learn. So please make sure you learn it thoroughly with the correct hemispheres. The second most important thing on this page that you need to mark is your world's largest desert, that is the Sahara, and the world's longest river, that is the Nile. Please do mark these four things and learn it also. Now turning to page 112, what we need to mark is the names of the great explorers who helped us discover Africa. Number one is your David Livingstone. Please mark it. The second one is the Mungo Park. You don't need to learn the dates, children. And the third one, Henry Morton Stanley. Please mark it neatly. Now we need to understand, this much we had done last time also, that David Livingstone discovered Victoria Falls. Mungo Park nearly just followed the course of the river Niger. So each one of them has their own landmark or feature which they discovered. Henry Morton Stanley traced the course of river Congo. Now we've not marked river Congo, but we will be marking today. Continuing with the marking in the book, we need to just mark right now that equator is actually dividing Africa into almost two equal parts, and it is running through its center. So these are the key pointers to mark. Then we know about the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. I've repeated many a times. Mark that, and specifically the latitudinal extent and the longitudinal extent needs to be marked. Then comes your prime meridian. The capital through which it is crossing in Africa is important. Please mark that. I have repeated that also. We will be talking about the water bodies, but then before that we need to mark. In the last class also, we had discussed with the help of a map that Africa is bounded by the Indian Ocean in the east, Atlantic Ocean in the west, the Mediterranean Sea in the north, and Strait of Gibraltar in the northwest, which separates Africa from Europe. Now, in this book, it's a little confusing. So let's look at the map and mark it in the map. I hope everybody has the map by now. If you haven't marked it, we'll mark it together. I'll be showing you my map and you can mark accordingly. I'll go very slow. Here, Mediterranean Sea in the north. This is your Africa, and in the northernmost area you have your Mediterranean Sea. Quickly mark it if you haven't marked it as yet. We'll go clockwise because that is the easiest way to remember things. Secondly, you have the Red Sea. which separates the Arabian Peninsula from Africa. Then we have the Indian Ocean. We are only talking about the major water bodies right now, so we'll concentrate on that. So in the north, we had the Mediterranean Sea. Then we came down to the Red Sea, which is very important, and we'll be talking about the Suez Canal. But then before that, we have the Indian Ocean in the east. We are again not marking Mozambique Channel right now, which is separating the Madagascar island from Africa. We are only marking the major water bodies. Number 1, Mediterranean Sea. Number 2, Red Sea. Number 3, Indian Ocean in the east. Then we have the Southern Ocean in the south. Moving ahead, we have the Atlantic Ocean in the west. I've written south here because I was writing the name Atlantic Ocean below the equator. That is the 0-degree line which separates the Earth or the globe into two hemispheres, northern and southern. So if I write it here, it's South Atlantic. If I write it here, it's North Atlantic. Although the Atlantic Ocean is covering on to the entire western side of Africa. Moving ahead, the next most important water body is the Strait of Gibraltar. Now, what is a strait? A strait is a narrow stretch of water that joins two large water bodies. The Strait of Gibraltar, this water body, right? The Strait of Gibraltar connects the Mediterranean Sea. This is your Mediterranean Sea. It is connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean. Here also you have your Atlantic Ocean. Here also you have your Atlantic Ocean. So what is the Strait of Gibraltar doing? The strait, which is a narrow stretch of water, it is joining two large water bodies. That is the Strait of Gibraltar connects the Mediterranean Sea to the North Atlantic Ocean. I hope everyone is marking very, very carefully. Everybody can note down the Strait of Gibraltar is this passage of water or the small water body which is connecting two large water bodies, the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean along the western coast of Africa.